Well, Mondays are always great to start off when we can go to the kitchen and check in with ABC7 Culinary Director Judi Gallagher. Judi, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. I'm looking forward to cooler weather, but it was an enjoyable weekend, and I have the perfect Monday dish. I was over at the new Whole Foods on University in Monterey, and of course they're always known for their beautiful seafood displays at the Whole Foods markets, and I picked up some filet of sole, $10 a pound. That's incredible and so fresh, and it reminds me of my mom because my mom, even though we were Jewish, my mom always made filet of flounder or filet of sole on Fridays during Lent because she said the fish markets, the fish was so great. So this is a dish I'm going to take a little out of the box with a sumo orange. The sumo oranges, you may see them in the stores, and they're very noli. They are one of the sweetest oranges around. They're a hybrid. They're only going to be out for a little bit, in between a mandarin and a navel orange. So if we substitute that instead of the lemon and make a beurre blanc, which is basically a butter sauce with a little wine, we're going to do that instead of the lemon. We'll use the beautiful sumo oranges and bring it all together with lots of flavor and some organic kale and microgreens to bring the health factor up a little bit. Stay with me. We'll season it and start sauteing very soon.
All right, back to the kitchen now. No pizzas being tossed around in our kitchen today. Let's get back over to Judi.
I swear I won't fling the filet of sole over. It's too good to waste, okay? So let's take some of these beautiful pieces. Now, I have a refined flour, so it's nice and thin, like a Wonder flour. We don't want a heavy coating. We have 2 beaten eggs. And now what we're going to do is we're going to dust it, little coating in flour, and give it a slight shake, and then panko Italian breadcrumbs. And I like this because it's going to give it a light crust, not a heavy crust. And I want to be very sensitive about the cooking. So many of us are on a reduced salt diet or just trying to do better, especially cooking at home, because we know when we eat out, things are going to have more sodium. A really good choice is this particular one of Frontier, which is a salt-free all-purpose seasoning. It has dried carrots and peppers in it and different types of black pepper, things like that. So that's a really good start. You can tell the difference on that one because you see the red, the dehydrated red and orange from those vegetables. If you don't mind the salt, and it's not very much, you can do the Florida Sunshine, which I just love from St. Armand's Spice and Tea Exchange, because that's probably their biggest seller, and it just adds a nice note. So we'll continue to do that. It's time to raise the heat. I'm actually frying this in vegetable oil instead of olive oil, which will really make it too heavy. Now let's talk about potatoes. I have the Japanese potatoes right here, which I have blanched. They're incredibly starchy. So we want to be really careful with that. Blanch that with some sweet potatoes. That's going to go in the oven. Then we'll add a little basil and rosemary and give it some extra flavor and seasonings, and that will be a nice accompaniment to the filet of sole. So we come back, let's work on the butter sauce with those beautiful sumo oranges and bring it all together with a few capers and a lovely Monday lunch.
All right, back to the kitchen. It's Check on Lunch with ABC7 Culinary Director Judi Gallagher. How's it coming, Judi?
Oh, Scott, this is so delicious. I'm making it for dinner tonight at home. I'm going to go back to Whole Foods, get some of this great filet of sole. So what I've done is I took the filet of soles, the other pieces, and they're in the oven for those last 2 minutes. Remember, we have potatoes in there as well. We did both the Japanese potatoes that look like this and some sweet potatoes. The Japanese potatoes, you're going to boil first till they're about halfway through. Really drain them well. They're very starchy. So that's what we want you to know about this. Now we can take out some good quality olive oil. We're using vegetable oil for the actual filet of sole. Now let's go into the olive oil. We'll start with 1 small piece of cold Irish butter. Well, maybe not so small, okay? Then we're going to add just a teeny bit of garlic, and we're going to add some chopped shallots And then I'm going to go ahead and put some of these sumo oranges in the pan, okay? And we'll get ready to add some juice to that. A few capers. Now remember, again, you know, capers are really salt bombs because they're in that brine. But look I'm using about a teaspoon for 4 servings of fish. So that's going to be just fine as well. Now we're going to add some fresh dill. Just give it a few moments and then we'll pull it off and add some more orange juice to this. And then I'm going to bring in some organic baby kale because I like the smaller pieces and it's more convenient when I don't have to cut the ribbing out. It's not a big deal. If you have plenty of time, that's fantastic. But for me, I just want to bring that all together. So let's gently let that saute. You can add a little white wine if you want to, but what I'm basically doing is I'm just cutting it down with this beautiful sumo orange because it really does have a lot of sweetness in it, and I'd rather give that flavor. Now, the last step, and I wanted to show you the container, are microgreens. Microgreens are one of my favorite ingredients. I top them on salads, on sandwiches, and great dishes like this, so it gives you that herbaceous taste to it. Let's bring this over to the plate. Let's just take some of the kale and some of the sumo orange. And remember, sumo oranges are only here for probably another couple weeks, and then we'll have to go back to our honey bells and things like that, which are just as delicious. So let's get that butter and everything pulled right there. The aroma is wonderful. Right on top of the potatoes, and we'll top it in a few minutes with microgreens, and John Scalzi's lunch is ready. John Scalzi, what do you think?
That's delicious.
Good.
Really good.
Okay,
I love
good.
the breading.
That is a combination of panko breadcrumbs, some unsalted seasoning from Frontier, which you can get at Whole Foods, whereas where I got all the ingredients, these orange, sumo oranges between
those.
a navel and a mandarin, which really gives you such good flavor. And John, you just mentioned saumonier has so many calories, and that's why we tried to balance it out. Some butter, some oil, and then you bring everything together, and I think it really works.
It's absolutely delicious.
Good. Well, you eat. I'll remind everybody that you can go on mysuncoast.com, click on recipes, you'll get the video, the recipe, so much more, and sign up for our culinary newsletter each week. If you're already signed up for it, then you're in it electronically that you could win a $50 gift certificate to one of our area restaurants.
What's that seasoning again?
That is the Frontier brand, no salt. It has a lot of dehydrated citrus and vegetables.
It's very, very tasty too. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, John.
Delicious.